All right,
I
so
learn every day.
just to go on a completely different tangent, I want to ask a general question to people. What is your favorite project that you've ever worked on? Anyone can take that.
Holy cow.
Take a minute to think about it.
3D or just like YouTube related? Anything?
I'll say creativity related.
Creativity? Okay.
It's tricky.
In
What
high
am I?
school, I made a rip off of something that already existed. The idea was you have a box, and the box is the room you're in. So it's the fractal of there's a room in a box and a room in a box. And that was the first time like using like motion tracking and stuff for me because I had this box full of like little dots that I made a 3D model of a room, just put it on there. Um, that was cool because I had no idea what I was doing and it worked out. So it's probably my fave.
Mine's definitely when I've learnt absolutely tons. Probably forgotten most of it since I learnt it. But doing a car rig that would actually go across ground and the suspension would move accurately and the wheels would rotate. Obviously, when you turn a wheel, the inside one's moving slower than the outside one. The rig was handling all of that as well. So there was a bit of math heaviness in the drivers to make that all work. And that was really it was really engaging for me because it was everything that I was learning about was completely new. I'd not touched drivers properly before. I'd not played linking all these modifiers together, using the drivers and everything. And the end result was just like, wow, it works. How did I do that?
One of those projects where you're slowly forgetting what you did as you go along.
Yeah.
Because it's so long.
I really wanted to teach it after I'd done it, and I went back and I've even committed each stage because if I'm doing a large project like that, I use GitHub to track the changes that I've made just in case I do something and it completely ruins it and I don't know what I've changed. And I even going back there, looking through the comments, I'm like, I've actually done like 6 things in this one thing that says "made wheels move." Good note taking, Mike.
I think mine was it wasn't even a big project really. It was just a ton of fun and was actually the same reason I wanted to learn Blender like years ago. Because I saw the software and I was like, it'd be cool to be able to remake something in real life in 3D. And I thought it'd be cool to like remake my bedroom. I made a video on that and it did pretty well.
That was a good video.
Yeah, it was fun because like project was literally the reason I wanted to get into Blender because I was like, one day I want to be able to just remake something that I see every day. And for me, that was my bedroom. That was a really fun project. The video didn't take that long. The rendering wasn't hard or anything. Once you know what you're doing, it's pretty easy. So that was probably one of my most fun projects. I mean, it could have been improved, looking back on it, but that was definitely one of my favorites.
All right, here's one. I can't remember if I was coming back from playing a show or something. I think I was driving down the New Jersey Turnpike of all places, and I heard a song that I wrote on the radio.
Really?
That was probably
Wow.
that was probably the coolest creative thing ever. Just commercial success. I don't know. It doesn't. What's that?
You didn't copyright them for
playing? Oh no,
it?
they were all copywritten. Oh yeah, we had copyright, Library of Congress, the whole thing. But yeah, I heard. I actually didn't realize that one of the singer in my band actually had I guess pushed it out to a number of radio stations, and one of the DJs picked it up and loved it, and then was asking like, who are these guys after the song played? And we're like, it's us, and but we didn't have a phone or a line into him or anything, and then like a month later we ended up breaking up. So that was fun.
That'd be cool. Just hearing that out of nowhere.
It really was out of nowhere.
Yeah, that'd make me feel good.
Yeah, I was in the car. I think I was coming back from a gig, and I think that my old drummer and bass player were with me, and we're talking, and it's like it was like in the background, and all of a sudden we're like singing along, like we all knew the song, and then all of a sudden we turned to each other like, that's us. Like, what the heck? It was the most bizarre experience. But that was creativity wise, I'd say. But 3D wise, to bring it back into like something that matters for the listeners of this, and the watchers of this podcast, probably I had challenged one of the vice presidents of my company had wanted some, like, he used to put on these like massive $1 million shows and would like rent the Dolby Theater in Hollywood and like he just wasted money. But it was cool because I got to do this like airplane, and I had this other airplane like kind of come and like fly onto the top of this like mothership airplane and like morph into the airplane itself. It was pretty wild, all in like with camera shake, and I wish I could find it. Like, I think it's public release somewhere. Like, I gotta find this thing. It was really cool. It was like this morphable, like, cool plane, and he pushed us to do it like overnight. I remember I brought a futon into work, and I like threw the futon on the floor, and I like slept there. I think I was there for like 36 hours straight or something. It was like stupid, but it was cool at the end. And then he played it on the big screen, and I saw it like in the, I think it was called the Dolby Theater. It was the old Kodak Theater where they have the Grammys, not the Grammys, but what is that? It was like a big award show, the Oscars, and it was like on that screen in the background. but it obviously wasn't the Oscars. It was like my company get together, rah waste money thing.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
All right, cool. Awesome.
Let's waste $7 million. Okay, fine, let's do it.
Did you use Blender at all for that?
No. I wish I had, because it would have been more fun. I was using Maya 2015, I think, and that wasn't a fun release. If anybody has used Maya 2015, I don't know if you guys have, but it was clunky.
Mm.
It wasn't it wasn't, to me, it wasn't one of the more streamlined releases. But I had wished that I used Blender. But 2.8 wasn't even a dream yet. Well, I think it was a dream at the time, but it wasn't even realized yet. So it was, I think at the time I did that, it was 2.78 was out, or maybe 2.79.
Well, to go off your story with Maya, I think my favorite project was in high school. This filmmaker had me work on the visual effects for his short film for like a summer. And so it was my first time dipping my toes into 3D and visual effects. And I remember I spent like 3 weeks in Maya just trying to get some models to like cast a shadow and extract the shadow so that they could be in the footage. And looking back, it's probably something I could do in a couple hours now, but it was a fun process of like trying to learn that. And at the time it was exciting because I was just getting into it. I don't think I could endure that type of timeline now, but it was like the whole, I worked for like $700 for like a full summer of like visual effects.
That sounds about right.
It was, I mean, yeah, right. They didn't tell me they were going to pay me anything up front, so I was just, pleasantly surprised by that. Not really expecting anything, but then I got to see it in our city's like theater, and so
awesome.
That was scary because I was like, your visual effect might hold up on your 15-inch screen, but then how is it going to look on like a giant screen? That was kind of a scary experience, but fun as well. So
it's awesome.
Yeah,
I had one of those in a local theater. My friend has a film company in New York. He actually did a feature that was on Netflix. I'm guilty because I still haven't watched his feature, but I did the emblem for his film company, so that I got to see that like at the ArcLight in Hollywood. He came out here in I think like 2006 or 2007, and he was doing one of his short films in the LA Short Film Festival, and I got to see my emblem at the ArcLight. That was kind of cool. So I had a similar experience.
Awesome.
But
yeah, that's sweet.
I'm done now.
I think I'll throw in mine as well quickly. Other than my alternate reality game project, I think the favorite thing I did was actually a joint project with my brother and my dad, which I think I've mentioned on here once or twice before. It was a museum exhibition, and me and my brother were child actors in it, pretty much. Basically, the way it came about was there's this museum for the Royal Artillery that we used to love going to, like every few weeks or something. And it was a really nice place down on the River Thames. And we loved it there. My dad, being quite proactive and creative with all of his special effects, said, "Hey, we have an idea for like doing something interactive to demonstrate how firepower is represented in films. Would you be up for us doing something for you?" And they were like, "Yeah, absolutely." So we did. And it turned into this fun thing where in the corner of the museum there was like a bombed cinema. That's what it looked like, but I mean it was made out of like all, fake material. But and then it had like a movie poster outside that said "Firepower in Film," and then me and my brother were on the poster. And you go in and you sit down on these classical cinema chairs, and there's like beams of wood like coming through the room. And on one of the beams there's like a series of buttons, which you can start the film, and then there's two more, and you figure out that as you watch it, those two extra buttons are ways to kill me during the film. So the first one is to shoot me, and it demonstrates a blood bag. And
Oh my god.
and the second one was a rocket. You could fire a rocket, and it would fire down towards this artillery piece I was hiding behind, and then there would be like an explosion, and that would be it. But it was funny because like over the years afterwards, because they did so many school trips to the museum, like we would have different family members going, "Oh, did you do this?" Or, "Oh, we saw Curtis here," and this, that, and the other, and like family friends with their kids going, "I swear I saw Curtis at this museum." But yeah, that was funny. But the museum a couple of years ago ended up closing down, but it was up for, I don't know, like 10 years or something, I think. So yeah, that was a pretty cool one.
How old were you in this video?
Oh, I have no idea. Maybe 9, 10, 9, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, roughly around
So
there.
this just kid getting shot and exploded by
Yeah.
by the viewer's choice.
Yeah. Okay, viewers, it's Curtis from the future here, just interrupting the episode quickly to throw in some extra context on that story. For those of you that don't know, my dad is a professional special effects supervisor for film and TV. He's done such films as Justice League, Wonder Woman, Bohemian Rhapsody, Les Miserables, Paddington, the Sherlock Holmes films with Robert Downey Jr., and many, many more. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the episode.
I've got a question for everybody here. I've been toying with the idea of doing a couple of live streams in Blender, doing something recently, and one of the things that's holding me back is not the setup or anything else. I've tested live streaming with gaming, etc., and if it's going to work with that, it'll work just with Blender open. It's that kind of live. Oh no! If it goes horribly wrong, like it does sometimes when I'm recording. What a fool I'd look. And I know, Josh, you've done quite a few live streams now.
I was so nervous at first, but you start to not care.
So it's all about getting immune to caring about mistakes.
Exactly.
I think that's part of why people enjoy live streams, is because they want to see you like mess up, especially if your videos might be more naturally polished.
Exactly.
It's kind of a fun way to see the real side of someone,
Mm.
or
It's
just what someone's like when they're chill.
Like I'm open to making mistakes now because I judge myself less the more mistakes I make. Because if you try to be a perfectionist, whether it's on the video or live stream or whatever, you don't have fun and you're like too nervous and cooped up the whole thing. So it's like just make a mistake and just let it flow. So yeah, you should definitely stream. It's a ton of fun. Like, and even if you have a couple people watching, it's just nice to interact with people and talk to them. Just literally doing it because you'd be doing it anyways. But this time you can just sit and share your creation. Like I've had people say, "Hey, do more live stream," because I actually like watching how you do things. I learn more from that than just watching a 5-minute tutorial. So that's another thing. You'll be helping people.
Yeah, I suppose there's all the planning and preparation we put into doing a 5 to 15-minute video or whatever is never seen by anybody, and that there's a lot of value cooped up in that.
Mm. Definitely. Yep. I've only done one live stream on my channel, but because I was nervous about it and I didn't have much planned, we ended up getting other people involved, like CG, and then more people jumped in, and it became a bit of a party that turned into a portfolio review. But anyway, that was better, I think, for a first experience, because doing it solo is very difficult compared to if you've got other people there. Because if you're just solo and all you can hear is the silence of your own head, and you've got like the live chat up, then you're like, okay, well, I need to fill in that silence with, stuff that's going to stop people from leaving. But overall, it's very fun. But one little trick for messing up, say, because we were doing a portfolio review, I was worried about clicking on a link and having something really bad appear on the screen, and that would be in there forever. But one thing I did do beforehand was I swapped my desktop monitors, because my primary is obviously in front and I have my secondary to the side, but I made Windows swap them around. So the primary is on the left of me, and the streaming would come on the secondary one, which is now in front. So this is what I would, be streaming, and all of my applications that I open and like all the new windows would appear on the primary one, which is now the left one. So it became like a temporary spot where things could be dragged in and out easily without stuff just suddenly going whoosh, on the main stream.
Yeah.
So maybe there's like a few little things there to think about, just to avoid any emergencies.
Yeah, it's hard to not be nervous. I mean, Curtis and I I ate Burger King on a live stream, and I was nervous for that. That was weird.
Yeah.
And I just played chess for like a week straight. Just challenging. This has nothing to do with anything, but the point is to not be nervous. You have to have less invested.
Yeah, and we need to do another game at some point.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Well, I really want to arm wrestle, right? But
yeah, we need to wait for that.
Yeah, that'll happen after we all have dead arms from a vaccine. That'll be a fun arm wrestle. Look out, my arm.
At the
Still
point,
hurts 2 weeks later.
Up at the next Blender conference, it'll be fine.
I know.
I'll tell you what,
Awesome.
I am looking forward to the next whatever conference, because I didn't know I think it was too soon for me when they were going to do LA this year, because I had just done October, and being a bit of an introvert and socially anxious in real life, like I would have needed like a few months of recharge time afterwards, and I wasn't sure if I would make LA. But they cancelled LA and the London Blender Day this year, and I'm thinking, I really want to meet people now, because so much has changed on the channel and stuff. It would be nice just to have more genuine discussions again with people, because I didn't think that anyone knew me when I was at the last Blender conference, but I still had people coming up to me, and that was really sweet. So there's definitely there's a hole that needs to be filled there for me with like some genuine human interaction, and I'm really looking forward to that. So next year, hopefully, if they actually get stuff going. Yeah.
And it's easier to converse with people, because if I talk about stuff I'm not interested in, I just shut down and like awkwardly quiet. But the moment I start talking about something I'm passionate in, it's like you wouldn't know, I'm a socially anxious person. I just love talking about the stuff I'm interested in. And if I'm at the Blender conference, like I'll be able to just talk with anyone about the stuff I like, which is like the main thing I'd be looking forward to.
Yeah, one other thing that was interesting was that speaking to someone who was actually a fan coming up to you, I noticed how my behavior changes when suddenly you're not the most nervous person in the conversation, because I like to think I'm quite empathetic, but you could tell they're more nervous than you are, so you're now trying to make them feel more comfortable, so you're naturally coming out of your shell to try and make them feel comfortable. You're right, Kev? Do you need a test?
No, I just swallowed
some air.
Yeah, it's not COVID, and I wasn't trying to hijack Curtis. It really just.
So long as you're okay. Wow. Good.
We're good now.
Good.
That's better.
Good content.
Sorry,
If we
Curtis.
can't see it, we can't hear it.
Yeah, that's right. If you can't see it, oh yeah, there's a mic. Sorry.
You're good. You're
Sorry,
good.
I like the comedic value.
So,
I truly can't
sorry.
wait. Blender conference, whenever that will be. It'll be the first one I've ever been to, so I'm looking forward to that.
I plan to go like 99%, especially because I'll be done with school and everything, and I'll have way more free time. And yeah, that'll be fun. And I'm assuming most of you guys will be going too.
That's the plan.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's here in LA.
Me too, because I won't have to
It'll be
leave.
awesome.
Hold on, I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just gonna say I'm seeing Sean talking,
Oh, there it
but
is.
I can't hear him.
Yeah. There's like a lag, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Like if I don't talk, I can hear you guys all fine. As soon as I talk, things start cutting out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys absolutely have to all go to conferences, and the Blender conference is so much fun. So amazing.
Definitely.
Where are all the different places it's been hosted before?
Amsterdam, mostly.
Okay.
That would
That's
be fun. I want to visit there, and that would give me a reason.
Yeah,
that'd be
Amsterdam
sweet.
was interesting. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't want to upset anyone. It was like really beautiful place, but yeah, very different from what I'm used to.
The place is interesting. You mean like the conference that you were at that particular year was?
Well, Amsterdam itself, but also the conference because it's my first time doing something like that anyway. But the conference was generally a very positive experience as well. So I really liked that. Even though I was like anxious, and to start with, I didn't know anybody until Zach turned up, and that was really nice as well. But Zacharias Reinhardt, came with his group of friends as well, and they were all super friendly. And yeah, also Alan Plains, so I don't know if many people know, but he's also doing a course with CG Boost now. But overall, it was really nice, yeah. And I also randomly spent some time with the creator of Grasswald as well, Julius, I think his name is. But yeah, I mean, I'd never ever spoken to him before, and then we were just hanging around, just like standing next to each other awkwardly, and I was like, "Hey, you doing okay?" It's like, "Yeah." And then we just started looking at the prospectus, and then we like ended up sitting in with a couple of talks together, and he was like, "You know, I'm doing a talk in this room down here, and I might need to bring some stuff in. Do you mind helping me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we just like spent some time together, and you don't realize how quickly you can make friends at places like that. So I encourage people that if you're on the fence, just go for it because people are more friendly than you think, you know, because it's always like the socially anxious person's nightmare, like going to a place and like having people side eye them, you know, and like,
Yeah,
so,
don't talk to me.
yeah,
You know,
be like, why
usually
are
have
you
some-
here?
The only time I've been in Amsterdam was for like an overnight layover, and we were trying to find a good spot for dinner, and so we were eating outside, and I just remember these kids like in this back alley were inhaling balloons of like nitrous, I assume,
Yeah.
and so then they were like popping them, and we were just trying to have a peaceful meal. But it's a little crazy, but some people like that. So
Yeah, it's an interesting place. But I'll tell you what,
Oh,
though,
boy.
I was really impressed. The car journey from Schiphol airport to Amsterdam, like some of the industrial areas around there are super nice, like super built up and modern, and then you finally get into Amsterdam where it's much more historic and much older, but like it's like the area looks really wealthy if that makes sense. Like, you know, it was a generally nice, very green environment as well because everyone rides bikes there, and it's no joke. Like if you've heard about people riding bikes in Amsterdam, oh my god, like they're stacked up on the sides of the roads everywhere. We thought it was quite funny actually. We were taking pictures of all the bikes because we thought, oh, that's just like some random stereotype, but no, they're everywhere.
it's a good way to get around.
Yeah, I would love to go to Amsterdam. My brother's been there 2 or 3 times already. He loves it. I'd love to go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get away for make an excuse to do that, but yeah, I would definitely go to the Blender conference. Hopefully, they'll do one in LA, and that'll be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it was last year or even at the beginning of this year. There was going to be a Godot conference or Godot conference, and then there was going to be the Blender conference like straight after. And I was like, oh, I could nail 2 of these passions in one whole week. And I thought, well, what about the children?
That is an issue.
Bring them with. Get them on the Blender train.
Yeah. I've taught mine to use Blender. They can use Blender, not well, but they can use it. But they're learning, so they're really young, so it's good.